This video is going to build the circular flow of income model. We're going to start off with two sectors and we'll add more as we go. We're going to start with these sectors, households, H, and businesses, B. The first relationship between these two is that households provide labour to businesses, so people work for businesses. In exchange for this labour, businesses pay incomes to households. Households return this income to businesses in the form of spending, which we call consumption. And this money is in exchange for goods and services that the businesses provide to households. We can begin to see the circular nature of the way the income moves here, because in order to produce these goods and services, the businesses must get labour from households. By getting that labour, they pay income back to households, which the households spend on goods and services. And in order to produce those goods and services, the businesses need to get labour from households. And we have money flowing through this model, but also we have products and labour flowing through this model. We've summarised that relationship just down to this smaller area where we have households and businesses, labour being provided to businesses, income going back to households, households spending that income on goods and services in the businesses, so the income going towards businesses, and in return goods and services going back to households. These are the first two sectors of the economy, and now we're going to add new sectors one at a time. The first sector we're going to add is the financial sector. Into the financial sector, households will save some of their money. Some of it they will spend in the business sector, which we saw on this page, that they spend it in the form of consumption on goods and services. But now that we have a financial sector, they're also able to save some of their money. So we have savings leaving households and entering the financial sector. Businesses are then able to borrow money from the financial sector, and they borrow money to spend on capital goods. And in economics, when businesses borrow money or when they spend money on capital goods, we call it investment. And having a financial sector allows them to borrow that money for investment. Now we're going to introduce the government sector. With the government sector, households and businesses will now need to be paying taxes to the government. The government will then use this tax revenue for their own spending. So they will spend money in the economy on goods and services for the community, things like hospitals and roads. And finally, we're going to introduce an overseas sector. Now with an overseas sector, households and businesses will be able to buy products from that overseas sector. Now we have the arrow going this way because the money is going to the overseas sector in exchange for those products. We call those products imports. We use the letter M. I has already been taken for investment, as we saw earlier, so we use the second letter of imports, M. Generally in economics we will use that. Businesses and households businesses can also sell their products overseas. And these are exports. E is often used for expenditure, so we'll use X here for exports. So when people overseas buy products from businesses, the money comes back to the business. That's why we have the arrow going back into this circular flow. And this leaves us with a circular flow model. We have a household sector and a business sector. Households are working for businesses and receiving income. They're using that income to buy goods and services from business. Both the households and businesses are involved in the rest of the economy and the rest of the sectors. So households save their money, it goes into the financial sector, and businesses are then able to borrow that money in order to fund their investment. Households and businesses pay taxes to the government, and the government then spend money on goods and services for the economy, and the households, businesses, and also the other sectors of the economy get products from overseas, which means that money gets sent out of the economy, but also people from outside the economy buy our exports, and that puts money back into the economy. The red boxes down the left-hand side represent what we call leakages, and this is all the times that money has been taken out of the circular flow. If households decide to save money rather than spending it on goods and services, then that money gets taken out of the circular flow. It gets taken out by governments when they take taxes. Now households don't have that money to spend in businesses. And also when we buy imports, our money goes overseas. So now households aren't able to spend that money in the domestic circular flow. To balance out the leakages, we have in the green boxes the injections. So businesses can borrow money for investment for when they purchase capital goods, which are goods they use to make other goods in the production process. The government can take their tax revenue and spend it in the economy, and people from overseas can inject money into our economy by buying our exports. We're left then with an equation, and the equation is S plus T plus M equals I plus G plus X. So leakages equal injections. When that happens, the economy stays the same size. If, however, leakages are greater than injections, if S plus T plus M is greater than I plus G plus X, then more money is being taken out of the economy than what's being put back in, and the economy will get smaller. On the other hand, if injections are greater than leakages, so if S plus T plus M is less than I plus G plus X, then more money is coming into the economy than is being taken out, and the economy will grow.